Alright, hi folks. This is second attempt at recording this. I put it all together yesterday. Today is March 3rd, 2018. I put this all together yesterday. Had a big storm in our area. Came back home today finally with power, only to realize that the video was, you couldn't actually read the screen of the Karoo. So we're going to do this again, and maybe I'll get through this a lot quicker, but the newest update came out. The version number is 1.4.105.3. It was released on March 2nd. It sort of rolled out sporadically to people in different regions. It was 671 megabytes. If you want details, like, you know, every single item on the list, I would suggest going to blog.hammerhead.io. That's there's a post there that's got all the details and more explanation of these. I'm going to kind of hit the highlights. One other thing to note is both on Facebook and on the forums there was a recent kerfuffle, I guess is the best word for it, regarding Android developer options. So people had noted in the forums and on the Facebook page that if you enabled Android developer options, you could actually see the file system and get FIT files off. If FIT files for whatever reason didn't upload to the Karoo portal or Strava, or were somehow corrupt to the point where they couldn't be moved around, you could actually get them. And shortly after that, someone quoted an employee, I guess, or a customer service person from Hammerhead saying that doing so voided your warranty. That seemed extreme to me. A few of us on both Facebook and the forums kind of called them on it and requested clarification of that. The director of communications, Caffrey, came on yesterday and basically reiterated that he felt like it was a violation of the warranty. But again, with some more prodding, they did come back and kind of corrected themselves, and it's not a warranty void. Basically, if you mess up the device while in developer options, they won't help you with it. Factory reset is one option, but basically what it comes down to is if you don't know what you're doing in developer options on an Android device, don't turn it on. Don't mess with it. You don't want to brick your Karoo and have you know, basically no recourse if they realize what you've done, and you just don't want to be in that situation. So the best thing to do is just to not do it. But it's good that they came back and corrected themselves and what they were talking about. So there were, back to the update, the software update, there were 43 items. I'm not going to go through them all. I'm just going to hit the highlights. One thing to note, and I don't think this took effect with the previous update because people were still reporting the problem, but I think they've corrected it in this patch, was that if you had less than 50% battery, and this is something an Android phone will do too, there's different percentage of batteries that are required to get through the whole update. So they basically want to make sure that the device has enough battery to get through the entire update so that you don't get a partial update and your phone or your device dies and stuff goes bad. So they did drop that from requiring 50% battery, which I think the previous update did, to in the future this will only require 30% battery. Another big item on the list is a FIT file fix, so hopefully they have fixed the corruption. Again, we had a huge storm here. There's still trucks all over the roads cleaning up down trees and power lines and various things, so I'm not sure I'm going to get out for a ride, at least not safely today. So I'm probably going to hold off till tomorrow to actually do a ride with this. Again, if anything interesting happens, I'll either bring this video camera or I'll grab a GoPro or something and try to record something if people are still interested. The issue that I reported or noted on the previous video about the navigation panel at the bottom of the screen not showing up during on basically data pages. I saw it initially and then never saw it again. That apparently was a bug which they have corrected, so those navigation cues should appear regardless of what page you're on while navigating. And I can actually start navigation here. it's I don't. Oh, I guess I could have put a route in, but anyways, so the navigation just wasn't appearing. It was only appearing here, the cues with the turn and the name of the street and things. Another issue that I think got lost in the last the loss of the video files from yesterday is that the problem I was having on Thursday or Friday, whenever I went for that ride, was my power meter battery running out. I put a new battery in. Actually, the stages needed a firmware update, which I did. There are some notes from Hammerhead, I believe, in this blog post, or either that or over on the forums about they do seem to be still having some problems with the stages reporting power correctly. So I think the next ride, hopefully, I'll have a full power meter battery, and I'll put both the Karoo and the Garmin on the bike again, and see what I get. The other note on here that I have that I wrote down off to the side here is that what they calling, and I will quote here, they called it user-facing elevation was introduced. So user-facing being in quotes. And this is something that there's been some argument about on both Facebook and the forums about the fact that it's not recording elevation data. In my experience, it was recording elevation data. It just wasn't showing it to the user. So there were no data fields that you could add, and there were and it would not display in the ride summary, but the it actually was recording it. If you brought the fit file into something like Golden Cheetah, you could actually see it. While I'm doing this, I should go through the pages and sort of show you a couple of things that are new. So, data. This is the test one I added in the previous video. So you can see here current elevation, and it's I'm not sure how well this is showing up on the video, but next to it does show beta. All the elevation fields. So if you add a new field and you scroll over here to climb, I guess I call it climb, I don't know why it's climb and not elevation. This is the only other one that could be added, is that I haven't already added to this page, so that's the only one that's showing up, but the other 2 or 3 are, so current elevation and ascent are the other. So there are only 3 in this category of, at least that I'm seeing, there's only 3 in this category under climb. The other things that I thought were new, and I guess have been confirmed to be new because I wrote them down, is that so percent of power and also percent of heart rate. If I go in here and add, I thought I had added this already, percent of max heart rate. So if you enter your max heart rate and you know for sure what it is and it's accurate, this will be a percentage of, it's not the fancy charts that they have showed in some of the software updates that are coming, but it does show a percent of heart rate and a percent of FTP. So provided you have those numbers and they're accurate, you can get an idea. I think zone is also an option. Heart rate zone and power zone. Heart rate zone is there too. I mean, I can add that and we can just see what it looks like. So it just gives, I'm not sure what the scale is, whether it's, one of the scales was 1 to 5 and one of them was 1 to 7. I can't remember which is which, but you can look that up or try it yourself. And then the other thing of note in general was just, they called it updates to averages. So I think there are a bunch of these averages in here that maybe were messed up. What people were noticing most was average speed. That was what seemed to be most glaring when you went for a ride, that the average speed was, it would often be going up when you were riding slower than your current average. It would still go up. They didn't really detail what they did to fix that, but supposedly it's fixed. Again, I haven't ridden. I can't think of any, there's nothing, I think that's basically it. That they did list 43 items, but they're not, all 43 of those items are not specifically pages or data fields. And I think that it's 43 that were, they certainly didn't add 43. I think there were 43 that were either added or corrected, and or they're lumping in other items that they fixed, like the fit file and the battery thing with the 43 things addressed. So Hopefully this is useful for folks. I think I'm going to end it here. We're already almost 10 minutes, and I've been talking long enough. So hopefully that's useful. If you're watching the video and you have questions, put them in the comments, and I'll watch and I'll answer. Thanks for watching.